Hey, how you doing? Let's do it to it. Let's do a puzzle rush. Puzzle rush. Don't you love your puzzle rush? Oh, um, phew. Excuse me. Ah, sip, and then I'll find out where I went wrong, and then we'll continue on to another one. Okay. I need a bishop. That was so simple. Okay. Try it one more time. second. Let's take a looky here. Alright. Put on the thing. I'll be right back here. I'm going to put you on a game. And I'll be right back. Then we'll go over the things really quick. Let me enlarge this for you. Alright. Okay. Let's do this now. Oops. There we go. Ooh. Okay. Ooh. Ah, one more. Uh, Not good. I'm gonna do one last one. I forgot about this rook here. That was my fault. That's not right, so this one. Oh, so that's not right, huh? Oh, that first, then there. Okay, let's try that again. Check, and then takes. Okay. Let's do one last one. Come on, let's get 27. Boom. Boom. Oh, okay. Ah. Oh boy, 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 boy. Come on, we gotta shake it off. Drat, I couldn't find it. I was thinking something like that, but I wasn't sure. Drat, I was trying to go for 27. We'll have to get it tomorrow. That's mate. Let's try that one more time. Okay, let's try this one. Okay. That's like right in your face there, so let's try this one. That's not it. Oh. One more time. Okay, let's do it to it. We're going to start with a Magnus Endgame. We'll mix it up a little bit, and then we'll go into our opening. So let's do a board editor. Oh, we're doing a Magnus game right now. Endgame. We're kind of mixing it up. Rather than just doing the opening, we're doing the endgame first. Just gotta spice things up a little bit with, with it. Just change is always good. Let's see here. Let me see. There. Magnus is black, and his opponent is white. Magnus is black, so we're gonna look at it from black side. So bishop e6. this position is equal, but the fact that the pawn structure is not symmetrical gives Carlsen more chance to fight for a win. Knight, knight to d6, check. King e7. Bishop c5, c4. H d1. Bishop takes. King takes. Knight d4. b6. This doesn't allow the... See, the knight was to come in to c3, so this pawn move stops that. Rotates d8. And then rather than the rook takes, knight takes. And this keeps the rook on the board to maintain more complex endgame maneuvering. So rook d1. I was looking at potentially knight g5 here. Check. See, just take a look at that. And I'm thinking though that king e7, and then if the knight gets greedy and grabs the pawn, you actually have f6. And how does the knight get out? You guess you can try g4. Side's over. There we go. And so this is kind of madness. We get the knight, and white would have two pawns. Is it enough compensation? No. So that's kind of why the opponent didn't go down that route. f6 now stops that idea. c4. Now white's trying to get their passed pawns rolling something via like that. c2 is actually a faster, a safer move here. That king c2. f5. c3. c3. How does he go c3? Oh, sorry. f5, sorry, c3 here. Of course, if he played this here, we have the same type of idea after we come there. If he takes, now the knight could actually come in, guard there, and if he tries to break through here and plays that, you probably could at this point just grab there. So don't just grab there. You see the knight still hanging, and if you try to play something like that, you just grab there, and now you just weave one material, so he has to retreat out. Oh, we did g5, okay. That's an exclam move. We saw the exclam move. Nice. Rook d5. And the position's equal, but not after knight takes h. And knight takes h7 here is a mistake. With knight e6, like what we talked about, and game, set, match. So rook to d5 makes it equal. Knight d3, rook c8 to try to go after the pawn. King b1. Knight f7. You can't. The interesting thing is you can't take this pawn because the knight hangs. So the knight has to move. There's also king instead of that move. Let me see here. b3 is a dubious move. Pawn b3. b5. Knight d5. Knight b7. And king b2. Black can't create an isolated pawn in white's camp now. So this would have held. Knight d5. b5. C takes b. A takes b. Then a3. Tisser wants to keep his king active, but his plan is a bit too slow. So b3 would have been an interesting move. The knight d4, knight d6. King b2. g5. Knight c3. Would be even at this point. a3 is too slow. Knight d6. Knight c3. Rook c4. Exclam, and the rook is doing well on the c file, or the c rank too, at this 4th rank. King a2. There is f3 to try to stop the onslaught that's coming. Rook h4. h3. b4. Knight d5. White is safe at this point. g5 now. And king b3. Rook f4. Try to go after the pawn. Rook d2 to cover the 2nd rank. And a more natural defense for white would have been this f3, and then e4 would have been played. Rook e1, king e5, knight knight b4, and the position is balanced at this point. This is a balanced position. He can't play here because the pawn would fall. He can't move his knight, and eventually what's going to happen is the king's going to come to d4, and this is going to be unpinned, and then he'll be able to take and get an outside pass pawn. So you can't mess around in these type of positions. Knight c4, madness starts, operations that result in the exchange of the b pawn for the a pawn. So rook c2, knight a5, king a2, and then b4. A takes b4, rotates, oops, not rotate, sorry. I think it's, let me see, A takes b, knight c6, king a3, knight takes b4. If you're wondering if this was a good move, not so because of the fork there. b5 would be, I'm thinking, a double question mark blunder. So that's why knight takes, rook d2, and then knight c6. The idea is the knight wants to reroute into d4 here, and then cause some chaos. Okay. King a3 there. Okay, b takes, and then knight to a4. The knight move to b5 is actually a better move for white. Knight b5 is rather surprising. The point is that it is supporting d6 check. That's going to be coming pretty soon. So knight d4, that's why the knight moved there. Knight takes d4, e takes, so e takes d4. Trying to keep the rooks on the board. b4 to get the pawns a rolling. King d5, king b3, a4, c2, d3, c5, king d6, then king c3. Actually, king c3 can't be played. Oops, not d4, sorry. d6, and then knight c3. The d pawn is not dangerous, and white can hold at this point. So d4, and then c3, which is actually dubious, because why do you move back and forth? G3 actually goes a little bit more to an attack. F3 check, and then king b4, and white will play on the queen side where black plays on the king side. So rook h4. Let me see here. I'm gonna make sure I have this right. Rook h4. Esclam, which is slightly this is actually a really good move. It goes after the pawn. With this highly active rook, Magnus's highly active rook, it is able to exploit the slowness of his opponent's play. So h3, and then g4 to start. And this is actually an esclam, because you're thinking to yourself, why are you doing that? You know, it doesn't make sense. G takes, rook takes, and this starts creating weaknesses, major weaknesses for black. F3, so that you would hold there. G3 actually is a losing move, because h5 here, and what you're going to eventually do is undermine the pawn structure. B4 to try to get the pawns rolling. F4, D3, knight C2, king B3, king takes B4. And the interesting thing is D8 is played. You're thinking, whoa, why not just take here? Because it takes, and if the king, let's say, comes down this way, then takes, and if actually probably not takes. Don't get greedy. That's, well, maybe it is. Well, let me see. If I push here, the knight comes there, then I queen. Knight takes, rook takes. We'd be up a pawn. Is taking better? Rook there. Actually, no, not rook D. More likely rook here. Yeah, this does win. Because if he takes there, you take there, and there's no way to stop that, so he'd actually have to play here, and then after playing there, yeah, it's that, yep, that's all over. Ouch. That is not fun whatsoever, not fun one bit. Knight a6, and black can press to win with his extra pawn, but with so few pawns on the board, white should be able to hold with proper play. Let's see how we're doing here. Perfecto. G8, rook G8, king A2. This is just passive. B4 would have kind of been playing for something more. It's still an interesting move, which could be taken advantage of, but you're at least holding. King d2, rook b8, and king a3, and then f3 or knight e2. But here, or knight a2, one of those moves. h5, b4, h4, knight e2. b5 is actually a mistake here because he's overpressing. He's overpressing at this point. a8, check, and then king b2, king b8 with a pin on the pawn. Knight f2, knight takes b5, knight takes b5, d takes b5. Knight takes b5. Rook takes b5. King c3. d5 is rook d5 is played. Black should win here with his extra pawn. He's got better. His pawns are actually better at this point. So knight c6 is a playable move here. Knight takes e2 would result in a difficult endgame, which black would probably not be able to win. So if you took here, rook takes, king d5, and then b5, e4, king b1, king c4, king c2, oh, wait a second, did I see e4, hold on, let me make sure that's f takes here. After here, how about, let's see here, then we'll go back over that just 1 second. Let me get this one in here. Takes king b3, and then I'll d3. Positions drawish because of here. It's a draw. Alright, let's see here. So move 30. Instead of knight, hold on. You were saying instead of knight e2. No, after a5. Let me see. There's 8. Let me make sure. Oops, sorry. Hold on. after king a3. Okay. On this a3. What about knight e2 here? I think it has to do with you actually win. You win a pawn. See, you win a pawn in that line. See, he checks there. I mean, he moves there to attack the rook. You take here after let's say the king comes to b3. Knight takes, check. Then you can actually play, let me see, f takes g, king takes. And I'm not sure if this is actually winning here. I think this might be winning for white. Oh, it's a draw. Interesting. So you take there. He takes here. It's a draw. That is funny. Okay. Yeah. Oops. All right. We'll get back because yeah. Knight c6 here is a playable idea. We already went over if Magus were to take, so this actually holds. b5, knight b4 check, king b3, knight d5, and knight c3. And then knight c3 here. And after this move, white has to act on the queen side as black is playing on the king side and is ready to become a menace. It's ready to menace his opponents. So b6 played. Knight takes g2. Knight a4. h3. Knight c5. King f7. And he could play king f6, but I think b7, king g5, and rook a2 exclam is a really strong move. So because you interfere with the knight. Rook b8. King rook a8. Rook takes check. Knight takes. and then h2, and rook a1, a1, and rook h4. I mean knight h4. Sorry, not rook. Knight h4. And it's like it's a draw here. If you were thinking rook h8, knight to h4, and the pawn will queen. So knight d7 was actually a blunder. This was the blundering move that lost it for Magnus's opponent. Tischer probably got carried away and missed Magnus's tactical blow. Rook d1 is really strong because rook b8. b7, knight f4, king c4, and knight e6, which you're attacking the knight there. d7 check with the rook, king f6, and knight takes e6 check, not check, just knight takes e6, king takes e6, and then rook to h4. There's nothing left to play for but a draw. But he missed Magnus's tactical blow, h2. Rook d1. And then let's see if you can see the move here. It's a double, I'll be right back. It's a double exclam move. And we'll see if you can see it. Hold on. Black to move. Double exclam. So let me get a drink real quick and then I'll be right back. Black to move, double exclam. Let's see if you can find it, Team Chess Cruncher. Yep. You got it. 94. Uh-huh. You got it, got it, got it. A nice sacrifice, but could, and it's a cold shower for white when he realizes this. Yep. The rook has to take, and then the rook comes to g1, exclam. He has to take. Knight, oops. Knight takes e5, check. King g7. Rook e2. h1 equals queen. Carlsen kept the game going by using his rooks well to extend the pressure when his opponent made a mistake. Carlsen was ready to exploit it when some nice tactic arose. And he took care of that. Let's see, what do we got here for our French defense? Alright, let's do it. Let's get a drink and then we'll get started with the French defense now. Okay. Study time. Alright. Let's do it to it. This is David Navarre versus R. Vaganin. Yep. You got it. We're doing the D2. C5. This is the Tarrasch variation of the open system. A more common close line is knight f there, 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 and then c3, c5, f. You could do the close variation. And sometimes what they'll do is actually play here and then post, or they might actually play bishop here and then post in here, or post up here and post there. There's a whole bunch of different lines you can go down. This is the open. White's last move involved the more sacrificial d4. White hopes that by doing so the development lead is powerful enough and the initiative of an attack. So g f3, knight f6, e5, knight fd. There's also e takes d5, queen takes d5, what we went over yesterday, and then bishop c4, queen d8, castles, and c takes. We reach a line we've already examined here. So we examined that one yesterday. and c3 was played. Knight c6 and d3. Bishop d3. Note, it appears that white has mishandled the opening and black's pressure on the d file works. Black can play c takes d5, leaving black in control of the center. White has no intent of playing d takes c5. Instead, he castles and offers the d4 pawn for developmental lead. So this is actually a bishop b6. Sorry about that. I knew I forgot something there. And then he castles here. It's an exclam move. He actually gambits the pawn. White hasn't shifted into anything goes mode yet. Faith in his coming initiative attack has already been invested, and it is too late to turn back now. White to move is made without thought. It's not a good idea to launch an attack and adopt a stance of like the provision for an attack. You have to set up for it. So white takes the chance, gambits his d-pawn, and goes for the 1-2 knockout. We'll see if it works. I haven't went over this game, so I'm not sure. g6 is a line that could be played. Then d takes c5 is an exclam. Actually, at this point, this is an exclam move. Knight would queen c7 to go after the pawn here, and knight b3. D takes e5. Knight takes e5. Knight takes e5. Bishop f4. Bishop g7. And then bishop e1. Black's centralized pawns are a negative for white's developmental lead. The pin on e5 is slightly preferred for white over even his loss of a pawn. So he took here, knight takes d4, knight takes d4, let me make sure, did I do? Hold on, did I do something wrong? Hold on, let me see. C5. Okay, so far so good. Alright. Oh, I know, I took wrong. It's not this takes, sorry. C takes, knight takes, queen takes. There we go. evil, let's see here. Okay, knight d4, queen b6. For the sacrifice pawn, white gets a dangerous developmental lead. 2, black runs down and is run down in development and is seriously deprived of centralized space. Which is an automatic no-no. Let me see. I think white wins here. White actually wins here. And 3, white controls d4. King c2. H7. Let me see here. Queen c2. And he takes aim at h7. So if queen a4 is played more often, the idea is to swing the queen to g4 and then go for the KO. Queen c2, so a4. So a4. B4 then. B4. Queen c2. And then knight c5. Queen d2. Queen a4. b3. Queen d7. Bishop b3. What was he? I didn't see. Was it bad? Oh. Wow. I think it was a troll, so you know what? It's okay. You know what? You have that every once in a while. So when you stream, you kind of get used to trolls. You have to, yeah. Yeah, yeah. You know what? As long as you're studying chess and having fun and honoring the Lord, there's, you know what? The name, as they say, sticks and stones, that type of thing. But words won't hurt me, so that's the type of thing. And it's just their opinion, so trolls. But you know what? We have to think the positive thoughts, because remember we talked about that. What you think about is very important. That's why we dwell on chess and why h6 was played here by David's opponent, was to stop the idea of going there. Yep, that's the quote. Yep. And so this is the idea of h6 is to stop the knight from going to g5 and to not get the pawn taken at that point. Because if you have to be careful that that doesn't come to pass, because I've actually had something like this happen. If you played knight comes up, let's just say knight here, if you come up, if you push there, they can actually get 3 pawns for the piece, and that's enough. This is enough compensation to, because the king's now not safe, and it's just very scary, let's just say. That's why h6 was played at this point, was to stop any of that mayhem that would be or a nuisance that would be coming by white. But you always have to remember, with every move there's a drawback. And now the drawback is g6 is protected one less time. It's only protected by f7 at this point. And there's been many tactics that have actually come under fire when there's a pawn structure like this. That a knight or a rook will sack itself on f7 and cause checkmating opportunities. So just be, every time you push a pawn, just be weary that it gives up something. And make sure what you're gaining is worth more than what you're losing. So bishop d7 here, or d2. Connecting the rooks. So white's now in the, when the rooks are connected, yeah, exactly. When the rooks are connected, you've entered the middle game. So white's in the middle game right now, which means black is about 3 moves out from getting to the middle game. Black would have to play, actually 4. Would have to play something like here, bishop c5, castle kingside. Boy, I guess 6 or 7 moves out maybe. Wow. Yeah, black's in a world of hurt right now. I wouldn't want to be black. Not fun. e3 and queen b4, which is, this was a mistake here. When we introduce a new idea or concept in direct conflict of the powerful force of perception, this is clearly not an improvement and may actually start black down a road of trouble that black does not want to go down. Better would have been to have bishop d7 exclam, ac1, rook c8 here to protect the knight twice, queen d2, queen d8, bishop b1, and bishop e7, and now he's 1 move away from castles, in which this would have held solid for black. But black, I don't know what happened. They thought I guess they thought they saw something that wasn't there, and it's not gonna turn out very friendly for them, let's just say. Bishop e2, White seeks to retain as many attackers as possible on the board, so he avoids knight takes c3. Bishop d7. Rook fc1. Yep, they're going for this 3 times. Rook c8. Unnatural as it looks, this is the correct rook play to c1. The reason that is for now is the fight is on the queen side, and on the other hand it's not on the king side, so leaving a rook to guard a2 or b2 would be a great idea, and bring your other rook over to cause some chaos on the queen side would be a wise decision, and that's what White did. So very wise by David. Knight d4 here. Queen a5. And then a3, preparing for... Yep, White won the game. A3 prepares b4 to fork the knight. Queen d8. Queen a4 is actually a losing move here, because b3 costs black a piece here, because if he tries to play here, you have b4. Yeah. So bishop b5. There's an exclam move here. This move undermines black's support of c8. And white threatens bishop takes d7 followed by b4, which would win material here. So there's a tactic. This is a tactic. So rook a8. Actually, this is an exclam move. Surprisingly, that's actually a really good move. The only move after a6, bishop takes, king takes. Because of course we see if queen takes, we've already looked at that. This loses material. So king takes is forced. And then b4, knight e4, a4 check, king e7, rook takes, queen takes, and rook c1, queen b8, and b5 exclam, which now with all the pieces developed for white, this is the proper time to get the party started. Black's king won't survive long in the middle after everything starts opening up. So that's why rook a8 was played, so that even if this were to come under fire and the queen takes, you can move the knight out, and there's no rook there. b4, knight e6. This was a mistake. He should have went with his e4 idea. e4 would have been a better idea. Knight e4. Oh, actually, hold on. My bad. They didn't like e4. Hold on. It's actually bishop takes b5. Knight takes b5. And then queen d7. Huh. Interesting. Knight takes a7, rotates a7, bishop takes c, and rook a4, a8, rotates f8, king rotates f8. White owns the only open file except and excellent chances for winning. So this is not the, so he's a combination alert. Do you see the combination? This is a combination alert. White move, combination, exclam. White to move, exclam, combination. Do you see the move? You are right. Knight takes e6, exclam. Sorry, I didn't know if that was the correct move. So f takes e, and do you see the move? That there's actually one more move here, and this is the move. The white has one more exclam. Yeah, white has one move that's really strong here. Yep, you got it. G6 is the move that would have been the winning move for white. White played actually bishop takes a6, which is a dubious move. Surprisingly, this is a dubious move. So we got to promote this. That's actually what was played in the game. After the check, though, the king would have to go to e2 or e7, and then now takes is more of applicable here. b6, and then rook c3 with a rook swinger, transposing the game and to continue with a winning process. So here b3 was actually played here, or b6 was actually played here, which is a dubious move. Better for black would have actually been queen to b1 or b8, exclam, with the idea that after bishop e2 that queen takes c5, e5 would have regained the pawn with equality. g3 is still a good move for an exclam. This takes advantage and it gets ready to play f5. Knight bishop e7 and bishop f4. Or sorry, not f4, but bishop f4 would have been is what the idea is. Queen f6 and h5 check. King f8. Queen c2. Bishop e8. Queen takes b7, so white's winning a pawn here, and rook d8. Even though it's highly unlikely that black will survive, he still has a chance to make it at this moment. Queen g6, check. King e7. Black's king enters the fray. Actually, it says the frying pit, and it is soon going to be going down. Rook c3, exclaim at this point, because he's preparing to double up or shift over. Either one works. White's preparing to double rooks on the c file. White's rook may swing over to the king. Hey, you know what? We're getting the ideas. I didn't even look at the book, and we answered them correctly. So congrats on that. Queen there. Queen g4. King f7. He's trying to safety his king. Bishop d3. King g8. Yikes. Now the black's last move will bring into play his rook to h8. He can't bring his rook into h8 anymore. It's over. The rook is gone. Bishop g6. Yeah. Queen d8. Black's going to try to trade off queens ac1. Now this actually is coming in. a5. Rook c8 is actually losing. It's a double question mark blunder. He can't give up any material. He's got to keep as many pieces on the board. I know that sounds crazy in this position, but the only way to hold for black is to hold, and this doesn't hold the position. Queen f4 with the idea of checkmate, threatening mate. So rook h7. Queen to f7 check. King h8, only move. Queen takes a h7 check. Exclaim. Queen takes. Rook takes. There's mate coming pretty soon. King g8. This is just incredible. Wow. Black plays the ending without any army and can resign. Wow. That's just impressive right there. b5. This bishop is unable to touch b5. Bishop c5. Bishop takes, b takes, rook takes, queen e7, b6, rook b8. Combination alert, combination alert, combination alert. White to move. Exclaim. White to move, exclaim. Combination alert. What to play here for white? What do you think? Play okay? Do you need some time to think about the move? Or do you agree with um, Wizard? Okay, so you're going with it too? Yep, good job. B7 exclam is right. Queen F8. And what is the final move that wins? There's one move. This isn't a combination, but there's only one move that wins. What does white play that wins here? White to move and win. Oops. Hold on. Let me cut that out. Oops. Somehow that was weird. Let me do white to move and win. Oh, what? No. That is so weird. Sorry about that. Hold on. That was odd. White to move and win. So the move is actually rook c7. This is the winning move because it attacks the bishop, and if the bishop moves, then the bishop moves off like to a4. Rook c8 is winning here, and then if queen goes to d8, queen f3 is also winning too. I don't know why somehow that DC, I gotta check to see what happened, because I was typing in white and all of a sudden this thing, queen and then queen there, and after bishop e8, bishop f7 check, exclam, and then king h7, queen b3, queen to d3 check, g6, queen takes is actually mate at this point, so yeah, that's okay though. So this is actually, so this was the move here after C. I'm going to put a box by it, or it only moves, so that you know that that's where the game actually stopped. What if rook, the only problem with this move here is the bishop could actually take. The bishop could take here, and then if a rook takes, pawn takes, it turns into a queen, and then queen takes, and you're down material, and it protects the pawn. What were you considering? Were you considering bishop takes, then pawn, then takes here, here, here? The same outcome happens. Yeah, that's right. C8, C7 is correct. Yeah. Yeah, we went over rook C8. See, we went over rook C8, and then bishop would take on C8, rook would take on C8. Oh, not a problem. You're fine. You did great. The whole idea was that this bishop covers C8. Okay. No, you're fine. You know what? That's okay. That's the whole point about learning is to try new things and improve and get better. Now that we've finished our end game, we'll try 6 puzzles. Well, we'll do 6 puzzles, and then I gotta log off. Okay, let's get the puzzles up and rolling. You do? What do you see? Hold on. What do you see? I still have it pulled up. Hold on, give me a second to pull that up. Hold on a little bit longer. Okay, so what do you see on C8? Should take C8. Or take C8. Oh, I think, let me see here. Oh, okay. There has to be something wrong here. Let me see, what am I missing? Oh, it's rook takes, sorry. So rook takes was so it's rook takes C8, rook takes C8, bishop takes C8, turns into a queen, and if takes here, queen takes is equal. So this wasn't the best move. Rook, your guys' move was actually better. Rook, this move was actually a better move. So yeah, congratulations on finding that. This would be a blunder if you had taken with the bishop, because then after takes, rook, queen, e6 would lead to checkmate. Great job. Nice. Okay, so now we'll get the position set up. Yep. Okay. Let's see here. Oops, I need to grab one. Basic queen there. Okay. Get ready. Get set. Go. Anything else would be mate. R, mate, R, mate. There's a lot of different mates. Okay. Let's do it. Go. Alright. Let's do it. Okay. You got 3 more. 3 more. 3 more. Ready, get set, and go. Ooh, nice. Nice. Rook F, G takes, and checkmate. So 2 and 2. 2 and 2. Oops, I need to get a white rook. Just want to make sure I have this right. Yep. Yep. And get ready, get set, go. There you go. Okay, this is the last one. Let's see if we can get a tie here. Let's see if we can get a tie. You gotta be ready. No, it's a tie. You got this. Come on, I know you could do it. I believe in you. Get ready. Get everything. Get your button ready. The button on the stuff ready. Get everything typed in, and I know you can do it. Because it's only 3-2, so you have one chance to. We have a chance for a tie here. We can tie this. Are you ready? Now this is the right setting, so everybody get a good look at it and see what you. Oops, I have to put one rook down. I'll tell you when it's right. There. It's right. So do you have a good look at it? I have to put in my pasting thing here. So I'll tell you when. Get ready. Get set. Go. Go. Yay, it's a tie. Nice. Yes. F6 there. And then queen d8. Yep, good. A custom puzzle. Custom? You mean a made up one? We'll end it on a tie. We have to have it. We have to end it on. We'll end it on a tie because that's perfect. I'm glad it went. I'm glad it was a tie at this point. Because it's all about learning. Okay, well I'll have to do that next time. I'll see if there's some that I can make up. So that's perfect. We'll end here. Do you got any questions? Next time I'll try it. I'll try one. Okay, I'll do one. I'll try making one up. Alright. With that, I will say adieu. Thank you for all logging on. Great job on solving the combinations in the French defense, seeing all those. Excellent work there. Excellent work on finding the puzzles. Congrats on the tie. And I'll have to design one puzzle. I'll try to make a really good one. And we'll see how it goes on that. So you know what, and remember, what you think about is important, and it affects even your studies in your school and in all your life in general. And remember that chess is, I always think of it as a treat that you get to do after you've done all the your homework and stuff like that. It's a blessing to be able to do it after all the work's done and all your school work's done, of course. Then you can do it. And the nice thing about it, it's a treat that actually is healthy for you. It's kind of like if you were eating something, it'd be an apple. Apples taste really good and they're yummy, and they're also good for you. So it's the same type of thing with chess. But what we have to remember is every long journey begins with one small step, and so that's a Yasser Seirawan statement. Treasure your victories and learn from your losses, and remember that mistakes do not define you. It's how you handle the mistake that defines you. And Bruce Lee said that knowing is important, but you need to be able to take it to the next level. The next level in chess is to apply it on the board. So you need to take the opening knowledge that you know, and same thing in like your schooling, whatever your teacher gives you for work, you can take that and apply it to maybe the problem that you're working on, and that will help you, that type of analysis in problem solving. And then and then be willing and do something with it. So you have to be able to be willing and to do something with it. And when that happens, you get the full meal deal of learning. And the idea that Bruce Lee talked about was plateaus. Plateaus are part of learning in anything that you do, school, chess. It could be you're in your profession. It doesn't matter. It's a plateau, and what you have to do is be okay with being there for a little bit. Try to find a way to go through the plateau. What that means is, either if it's like a wall that's blocking you, get some graveling hooks and try to climb over the wall. And if you're blessed and you're gifted in the area, you might even be able to get a wrecking ball and break that wall down and then walk right on through it. And sometimes it's a blessing to be gifted. Sometimes it's not, because remember what we talked about, that hard work, individuals that do hard work will beat talented players, because talented players don't work. And that's a hard one. So I gotta say, not all talented players, but that was on a Facebook quote, and I thought about that. I thought, wow, what a chess player or somebody who's in school, when they take the learning lightly, they take it for granted. But the students who have to work really hard at whatever subject they're in don't take it for granted as much as talent, because talent, it comes to them so naturally. But I gotta say, there are some talents that don't take it for granted. So you can't say every talented chess player or student takes their talent for granted. So we can't say that. That's why you shouldn't say never or always. You should. There's only one thing you should say that about: that the Lord Jesus always loves us, and you could say that for a fact. But so what we have to remember is that Bruce Lee talked about that you don't fear the person. He didn't fear the person who practiced 10,000 individual kicks. He feared the person who practiced one kick 10,000 times, and that applies to, if you work in an opening or in the subject that you're at, and you constantly go over it and over and over and over it, you're gonna be strong, and you will get good grades, and you will have good performances over the board as well. So it works both ways. And the whole thing is, in the end, don't give up, because you may make a mistake. Just get right back up and start again. And always remember to put on your learning glasses when it comes to your schooling, and your learning glasses when it comes to chess as well, your grandmaster glasses in both areas. And it all comes down to the Chess Cruncher motto, though, of: we hang up our coat, we hang up our hat, we sit down and study. When most won't, a chess cruncher does, and that makes all the difference. And as Wesley So says through Lord Jesus, and as I say, God bless, and I'll see you next time on Chess Cruncher TV. Have a blessed morning, afternoon, evening, and Lord willing, I'll be back on tomorrow. Remember what Hannibal Smith said: a good plan is a forcing plan. That you know what your opponent's going to do in chess, and also you can apply it to your schoolwork. You'll know what to do, the right formulas, and you'll be able to do all that because you'll have a plan. And when it comes together and you get either win or draw on the board, or whatever, good, or an excellent grade or whatever, you get to say this for both of those. I love it when a plan comes together. So 2 thumbs up, hoorah, be blessed, and I will see you tomorrow. Have fun playing chess, honor the Lord Jesus, and keep pushing forward. Bye bye.